My wife cheated on me with a coworker who lives 6 doors down from US. So my wife and this guy have been co-workers and friends for over a year now. They mostly work together but sometimes talk via text/Snapchat. He is 26 and she is 33, I'm 37. He lives in his parents' basement and has a part-time job at the company and no real financial future. He is also not very attractive and doesn't seem like my wife's type. Anyway, her boss at work had a birthday on Saturday and I dropped her off at the bar where a bunch of other employees were going to celebrate. I fell asleep on the couch at around 1 a.m. and woke up at 6 a.m. the following day. I'm not sure why, but I had a bad feeling about her not coming home before I was awake, so I looked through her phone and found Snapchats that made my heart sink. She messaged him at 2:30 a.m. and said, he's asleep, him, tonight or another night? Her, tonight. Him, condoms. Her, I don't have any. Him, I'll grab some and meet up there in 10 minutes. After I found the texts, I took some photos and woke her up and confronted her. She came clean admitting to it all after I showed her the photos and said that they didn't have relationships because he was too drunk to get hard, but they fooled around and planned/tried to. She claims this is the first time they ever got physical, but I am not sure I believe it, since from the texts they had clearly discussed it, as they both knew what they were talking about. I am now trying to decide if I want to divorce or reconcile. I had an initial consultation with a lawyer today. We own a house together that neither of us can afford on our own and have 2 kids ages 6 and 4. I'm looking for advice or support from this community. Do you think I can keep this relationship alive? She has agreed to go zero contact, give me full access to her phone and enter counseling. She keeps on asking me what I want to do, but I don't want to do either, live in a relationship with no trust, or break up my family and sell the house. But I know I need to pick one. Edit. I also told her that she needs to inform her parents or I would, and she called them both immediately after. I'm not sure why I did this. I guess I want her to own it, and I want her parents, who I both respect very much, to know why I will be divorcing her if I choose that path. Update. So I'm relatively new to Reddit and have never made a post before this one, so I'm not sure if this is the proper way or not to update, but here goes. I read most of the comments here and thank you for your advice. I met with a lawyer yesterday and took home the client intake form, which I filled out in front of her shortly after. I have my first consultation with the lawyer in 2 weeks, as that was their earliest appointment. She has been very remorseful and has done everything I have asked of her so far. She also said she wants to prove to me that this was a one-time mistake but didn't know how. Then I saw that some people suggested a lie detector test, so I brought that up to her. She agreed to taking it and asked to do it sooner than later, so I called today on my lunch break and scheduled one for Friday. The questions will basically cover what happened the night in question, whether they have ever done anything previously to that, and whether or not there has been any other partners during our marriage. If she fails any questions on the test, I will not attempt reconciliation, and even if she passes them all, I still may not. This is all too fresh and my emotions are too high to make any decisions at this point in time. The only decisions I've made are things she must do for me to even consider reconciliation. In terms of the lover, they work for the same company but do not work at the same store and have no day-to-day interactions at work. I am not making excuses for her and am not trying to diminish the disrespect she has given myself or my family. Does anyone have any experience with lie detectors? I'm assuming I can't be the only person here who has had a spouse take one. Also, I do not wish to talk to her HR and make her lose her job. If she has no wage, if we divorce, I do not want to have to pay support. Our incomes are slightly similar, with mine being higher. And if some way in hell we do try to work it out, I will also need her financial help to maintain the household. Divorce dude. She has no respect for you. Forgive her and she will do it again in the future, taking you for granted. And of course it wasn't the first time. You don't suddenly ask the woman for condoms. It would be assumed he would get them, considering that she's married. It means she got them on previous occasions. She wasn't thinking about your family when she made this decision. She wasn't thinking about you. She only wanted to think about herself. Ask her what's to stop her from doing this again. With him or with someone else. Tell her you know it's not you, it's not the kids, or the respect for your relationship. So what will stop her? She planned it, she met him, she cannot go no contact unless she moves or he moves and one of them quit. She told you the minimum, maybe it is true, maybe it started a while ago, she got caught, not like she did it, deeply regrets it, confess and wants reconciliation with you. What does she want to do? If she wants reconciliation, she would decide for no contact by herself, versus agreeing. If you ask it, based on what you wrote, it does not look she really regrets it and wants to save your relationship, which leads to either divorce or a bad life. Your call. I sincerely wish you this ends up the best as it can given the circumstances. She has been doing this young boy for months. You have only 2 jobs now. 1. Make yourself stronger, mind, body and heart. 2. Take care of the kids. She is not your wife, never really has been. A lying cheater adulteress is who she always has been. I would contact HR in the morning. I would also tell her to write out a timeline of everything that happened, how it started and everything. Tell he if she forgets anything there is no chance for reconciliation. Also tell her she is going to have to take a lie detector test after she writes out the timeline. Make sure she covers everything from the night in question. Reconciled and I have a weird gut feeling again. Almost 2 years ago my girlfriend, 26F, and I, 26M, took a short break, and after a month or so of problem solving and honest communication we got back together. A few days before we officially got back together, we were talking every day and confessing our deep feelings for one another. She slept with someone. She lied about this for about a year. Despite my constant questioning about the situation, I noticed on a snap map she was staying somewhere overnight I'd never seen. She eventually broke down and told me. This lets me know she's capable of lying and wouldn't have opened up if I didn't consistently pry. Fast forward to now. We recently had a party a week ago. Some of her work friends came over and there was one individual who she discusses quite a bit. I got to talking to him trying to figure out their relationship, and if she talks about me when he said, all great things, except she tells me when you're being difficult. To this as I responded, well, at least she has someone to confide in. I gave him a shoulder pat and laughed as to not take the air out of the room, but his reaction was a nervous laugh. Why is she discussing her relationship issues or when I'm being difficult with a male coworker? Doesn't that seem odd? I immediately discussed this the next day with my girlfriend. I told her she was acting weird. She was showing all the nervous tics like fidgeting and playing with her hair. She said she felt like she was getting accused for doing nothing and she promises that nothing is going on. I also made a point of saying that I'm not accusing, and this feeling could be stemming from some insecurity I have. Anyway, I told her I believed her, which is only half true. I still have this feeling like something is going on and I don't know if I'm just being paranoid or how to settle this in my mind. Any advice on how to put this thought to bed or if I should pry further? TLDR, reconciled with girlfriend of 9 years, gut feeling she's messing around with a coworker after seeing them interact. You know she's totally capable of lying to your face. All you can do is trust your gut on this. Op, I really want to pry further. Yeah, my ex is with the guy she would confide in when things were rough in our relationship. I'm sure he said things like, you should leave him, or I would never do that to you, etc. If she's not boning him yet, she's taking her shoes off in his bedroom, metaphorically speaking. I find that most gut feelings are true. You've been together 9 years and you know this person inside and out. Even when something's wrong you sensed it. You're sensing that something is wrong now, you most likely are right. Would you rather cut things off for good, or deal with a cheater the rest of your life? Op, definitely don't want to deal with a cheater the rest of my life. I just wish I could either get some concrete evidence or that I could feel that she was 100% honest with me. If I had to guess, that was an intentionally biting comment from that guy. I could have something with her, and what do you mean by difficult? Do you guys fight a lot? Would you say you have any abusive or controlling tendencies? What, in your opinion, makes you difficult? My ex used to straight up lie about me to other people to make himself seem like a victim. I know because I read his messages. One time he told his sister that I laughed at him and mocked him in a situation where that absolutely did not happen, and isn't even my personality. Cheating and narcissism sometimes go hand in hand. So I wonder what types of stories this girl is telling this other guy that would give him the balls to say, "She tells me when you're being difficult." It sounded like a casual stab. The only way you can know if something is going on is to snoop. Snooping is one of those things that people feel dirty doing, rightfully so, but unfortunately, sometimes it's necessary to protect yourself and see someone's true colors. She's already cheated before, so you're within your right. If you don't want to go behind her back, catch her off guard sometime and say you'd like to see her interactions with this guy. See how she reacts. That will tell you everything. The conversation was more of a, "She talks about you all the time, oh really, I hope all good things" type interaction, which is very common in conversation in the USA. It was along the lines of difficult or being a pain. I'm not abusive, but I can be hard-headed and stubborn. This dude also isn't from the USA, so I'm not entirely certain these interactions are common for him. My next step was going to be to snoop, but I don't even know where to start, and if she knows I think something is going on, isn't it easy to just delete all the evidence? I don't know how to snoop, I guess. Okay, the first rule is never confront without proof, because they will know they are being watched and they will be far more cautious. You know she has no problem lying to you, you should have walked after the first time. You need to do some serious investigation, but since she's been alerted, probably won't turn up much. My advice, get a wireless router which shows you what sites are visited. This way if you ever check her phone, you'll know where to start, because it's probably not going to be text messages being used. Good luck.